Spring Festival is the biggest holiday in China. Every year, hundreds of millions of people travel at the same time. This year, we spent 3 days in Nanchang. And very quickly, we realized something. Traveling during this holiday is not exactly peaceful. Hotels in the city center were almost 3 times more expensive than usual. So we chose a hotel a little farther away. It's even right next to a horse ranch. It costs about half the price of similar hotels in the center. And the taxi fare for 3 days was nowhere near that much. Our first stop was Tianguang Pavilion. More than 1,300 years ago, the Tang Dynasty poet Wang Bo wrote one of the most famous pieces of classical Chinese literature here, Teng Wang Ge Xu. It helped turn this building into one of the most famous landmarks in Nanchang. But when we arrived, we quickly realized we wouldn't be going inside. The line was simply too long. Traveling during holidays in China often means spending half the day waiting in line or being ready to change your plans. So instead, we looked at the river beside it. This is the Gan River. More than 1,000 years ago, Wang Bo probably looked at the same water and wrote, 落霞与孤鹜齐飞，秋水共长天一色. Well, today there is no sunset. And it's definitely not autumn. But the spirit in his writing, staying hopeful even in difficult moments, still resonates today. Later, we all got hungry. So we decided to go to Wanshu Palace. That turned out not to be a great idea. Like my previous video, many Chinese cities have their own version of an internet-famous street. Unfortunately, Wanshu Palace seems to be Nanchang's version of Nanlua Guxiang. So many people. In fact, that we couldn't even get into the local restaurants we wanted to try. In the end, we gave up and walked into a Japanese tonkotsu place. Traveling in China during the holidays means sharing every space with thousands of strangers. A little tip. Food at popular tourist spots is rarely as good as you expect. It's so lively. The last sight on the first day, we decided to go to a modern square to enjoy the music fountain. After spending the whole day around ancient landmarks and crowded streets. The atmosphere here felt completely different. Nanchang is an old city with a long history. But like many Chinese cities, the past and the present exist side by side. Ancient pavilions, historic poems, and modern squares full of lights and music. They belong to the same city. Good morning. Sadly, day 2 was still cloudy. We visited the tomb of the Marquis of Heihan. He was a nobleman from the Han Dynasty. This tomb became famous when archaeologists opened it. they discovered thousands of artifacts, including large amounts of gold. Nobody can refuse gold coins, so we must skip the long shuttle bus line and walk 30 minutes to the museum early, just to get a head start to see the gold coins. Still packed. Discoveries like this are extremely important for archaeology. They help us understand what life was like for our ancestors, how people lived, what they used, and what they valued. Archaeology helps us understand where we came from. Standing here, history suddenly feels very real. But even here, the museum was crowded. History itself is quiet, but the museum wasn't. Navigating through huge crowds all morning was exhausting. So in the afternoon, we decided to leave the famous attractions behind. Instead, we went to a local wetland park. There were still people here, but not many tourists. The kids playing table tennis next to us were way better than me. Some retired aunties were singing together in a choir. At that moment, I told myself, when I retire, I'm definitely not joining any group activities. At one point, we even found another Wanshu palace here, but with far fewer tourists this time. The park was huge, so we rented a bicycle to explore it. Every time we reached one of the small arch bridges, one of us had to get off and push the bike. This afternoon felt so much more relaxing than the morning. Travel isn't always about checking famous landmarks off a list. Travel is about leaving the places you know to experience the places that belong to someone else. On the last day, we visited another museum in the city. We had already seen quite a lot of history, so this stop was more of a quick visit than a deep exploration. After that, we slowed down a little. We grabbed coffee, walked around, and had a relaxed lunch. And dinner. Zhengxi food is really spicy and so tasty. Baiyi Square was as crowded as any famous landmark. But right next to the square, there was a shopping mall. From the restaurant terrace, we could see the same monument, just from a much quieter angle. And honestly, that felt like the perfect ending to this trip. Thanks for watching. See you on the next trip.